And I'm just going to begin. We have about, I think, 40 for tonight, and we've got like 9 on. Oh, wow, so far. It's always right at the end. It's really cool. So welcome, everybody. So tonight, what I'm choosing to do is share what we've got planned in this next many months and what we've been building, what I've been building for years, really. And the shift that we're in the middle of in our online university and starting to stream everything, and also reaching out to some global connections quite effectively, which is really exciting for me. And oh, good, we've got some folks on. There's Mrs. Toomey. Hello. So I'm lit up to have all of you be on, and I'm going to do this right there so I can see you. All right, hi everybody. So I can tonight. First of all, what I'd love to do is hear from you, and here's my goal. My goal is like I've got some things to share and all this kind of stuff. Great. What I'd really love to hear is how you found out about us, if you're already involved, how important or what are you planning relative, or what would you like to have for your community. And being that I've got Aaron Toomey on, Aaron, are you willing to go, if you're still with me, wherever that was? Yep. Are you willing to go video? And yeah, good, honey. And video if you can.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I certainly can. And can you put your video on so we can actually see you?
Yes.
Hey. Awesome, yay.
I have a mess behind me, but y'all just...
No, that looks pretty, like TV. Yeah, something's happening over there, so. Anyway.
All right, so good evening. Thank you, Bob, for inviting me to join this call. So yes, 5 years ago, I learned and experienced the whole topic of conscious language and what is that, and began the journey of experiencing for myself and for my children just what all that would be. And then in 2019, beginning of 2019, Bob, you put out some fillers on social media just saying, yo, hey, we're traveling. We choose to come to your area. Who would like to host? Contact me. And I immediately was, yes, me. And so shifted and grew and stepped into, instead of just being a distant observer and trying to figure out what all this was, to becoming friends and colleagues and partners in a very common vision and mission, and to partner together with not just you, Bob, but your whole entire team and all that goes into it. And so I've heard you speak for massive amounts of people, and I was thinking, ooh, do we need a stadium? Do we need a huge hotel? And you said, actually, tell me about you. And so I shared my local workspace that I had, and it would truly comfortably accommodate about 30. But I was just certain that you would not be interested in that. And you said, perfect. And you said, I imagine 30. And I was like, really? And so I believe it was 2.5, 3 weeks later, we made it happen. And it was just boom, 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 boom. And our first night was a free intro just because of my circle of contact with clients professionally and then friends. I had no clue, like I did 5 years ago, as to what conscious language was. So Bob offered and his team just a free intro night, and it allowed professionals, all different walks of life. I mean, such an eclectic, diverse group of individuals. And kind of like Noah's Ark, you just show up if you're supposed to be there. It just really unfolded. And Mastery Systems, the managers, kind of circumvented and facilitated all the marketing and held me by the hand with, with Aaron, here's your role, here's our role. And I love lists, and they just gave me a boom, 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 boom of what to expect and what not to expect. And I was thinking, hey, can we achieve this in such a short little time? And when it just with grace and ease. Just, you would have thought we had planned it for months and months. And so, and planning any other event with Mastery Systems, which we have continued to have events. Some things we've done what kind of felt like impromptu, and I was hoping, for this outrageous number. And each time, everything across the board lined up, and those that were supposed to communicate, schedules worked out, finances worked out. Just no stress. It was fun. And so Mastery Systems held me by the hand and walked me all through it. And I look forward in the future to continue sharing and hosting. It's been really good, Bob.
So awesome. Okay. I'm remembering, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of the way I've been flying lately. I'm nearsighted, so I go, oh, what am I doing this week? That kind of stuff. So cancel all that.
Right.
And it was magic. So I have a question on, because you reached out, we found each other, we came and did a free intro and then 2 one-day classes. Is that correct?
That is
First
correct.
time. And then from there, if you can share with everybody, see, here's my goal, and choosing to work with you because you've done this. We're in the middle. This is like more global, but I still share because it's really real for me. Our humanity, each one of us are in the middle of remembering miracles. We're remembering pure speech. We're remembering our highest choices. We're remembering grace. We're remembering all kinds of good stuff. And you know this as much as anyone, that, anything less than our highest choice ain't gonna fly. It just, has self-sabotage in it. So when for me, I'm going, all right, when I go on tour now, my goal, because we're rebuilding our whole structure and the way we play, is to prepare people through, and then we've got this thing called core technologies. And I'm in the middle of closing out all the media of DVDs and CDs, and we're starting to stream everything. And in the middle of that, I'm going, well, I still really love core technologies and 50 DVDs, because I say if someone has that and they show it for free, I agree with that. As long as it's not on the internet, you can show it for free. And so from an intro and then 2 one-day classes, I believe we did Path and Power maybe, and Sacred Body Language Translation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Can you describe and you've got all your people. I have memory of all that kind of stuff. And can you describe what begins to shift in you and your perception of your group?
Yes. So while I had attended previous large groups, to have a smaller, intimate group, and what immediately came to move into action was the whole phrase of playing and participating 125%. I think the first thing that I realized that shifted for me personally, and then I began to see with my friends and clients as well, immediately the first night, when someone was not maybe perhaps 125%, maybe they were super tired or stressed, or who knows what's going on. It literally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just across the board, affected every single one in the group. We were one. And when my new friend on my left was sharing and speaking and upgrading, every single one of us, when I say we became one, we were one. And so if she was working on, just whatever specific down to the minute detail, I equally was able to share in that experience. And I was just blown away at, okay, now I get play 125% or don't play at all. And because my participation affected everyone and vice versa. And so it's neat that the things that need to surface to be touched and ready to be healed and dealt with, those things all appropriately, gosh, just so good. All those things come into play for that session at that time. And so my first awareness of everything, or my first shifts, was the key focus and participation of 125%. It affects every single person. And so getting to host, I'm like, can we do this every weekend, Bob? I mean, because it impacted every single one in all of our families. And so that's, I mean, way cool, super cool.
All right. Wow, I'm loving what we're doing. And I'm so glad you're on tonight, by the way, Mrs. Toomey. Love saying that.
Yes.
Mrs.
Yes.
Toomey, Mrs. Toomey. In preparing, if we could, from this point forward, knowing what you've got right now. See, I've got, like in Core Technologies, and 3 of these are already in the All For You packet, which we've already done All For You with your group there. But Living the Path of Conscious Language, the Power of Imagination Activation, and Outcome Mapping are core. And imagine before I'd ever come, if there was a way for you to share, like through videos or something, a way for people to be aware of conscious language, so it wasn't so new, to be aware of, once they make a new choice, how to imagine or outcome map, and both, what they're, in other words, so they're already in the game with their transformation. What can you imagine different, or let's say going forward, what will that do for the groups that you bring forward from here on?
Yes, I feel having a somewhat short but video to send directly to them with their registration or with their interest of registration, answering the basic, what's conscious language, what's, imagination activation, what, to answer the what's, maybe to begin with the why. Why someone would even look at this, but a video expressing to align their why, because people don't purchase or invest in what you have or how you do it. Individuals invest in why, and if our whys aligned and match up, then the direction is clear. And so to going forward, and then in hindsight, looking back at past events that have been hosted, to have a short video with the interest of registration expressing the why to participate. Because if I had been given that, or maybe some of my clients immediately, they'd say, yes, that's my why, yes. And where do I sign up? That would be something valuable back then, and then definitely going forward.
Got it. Well, and did you ever watch with a group Living the Path of Conscious Language by any chance?
Yes, after I did.
After, I got it. Got it. Because that's the way, in the past, the way we've done it is, like everyone, if you're not already hooked up to this, we have a thing called the foundation, which is pretty long, but it's really, really helpful. Anyone, in my experience, anybody that can jump in and experience those, it's on it's an audio file, MP3 file that you can download for free. Normally it's hundreds of dollars, but it was my gift. Once people get in and begin to experience the shift, then for me, my job is to deliver the rest of what's there. I love the idea of, in my experience, that short signal or video or whatever would be, is why I do free intros. And in the free intro, did some people get movement on that?
100%, yes.
So that's my outcome now. And being that we can do a lot of this from here, or meaning, online and all that kind of stuff, it's like, how do we wake up our planet? Well, there gets to be somebody in the local area, and this, once somebody starts moving upscale, to have the tools of, a love, touch, breathe, stay, feel, and I choose to make this fun and easy, and well, what does this turn into? And oh man, it's really important. And I know many of us, and I know you are, and many of your people are, all of our people all over, someone in the community, or someone's, because you have many now in your close region there, someone who is really there to help the person move upscale is really important. So anyway, cool. I love your sharing. And I love a little puppy in the back there. It's so cool. He's going through the doorway. It's so cool. All right. And by the way, congratulations, my dear. By the way, did you get married or something? Yes.
Yes. Miss
Oh, I
Darcy
love it.
here. Yes, I am and Mrs. James Thomas Toomey.
I love it, love it, love it. Well,
Thank
great.
you very much.
And thank you, dear. Thank you for sharing. And I'll let you click yourself off if that's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bob.
That was awesome. How cool is that? So I'm going to go to, if Miss Jane Pope can jump on. I see that you're with us. Jane Pope. Can Jane, Miss Jane, can you come on? Maybe she can, maybe she cannot. Let's see. Jane, can you come on? Well, she's not answering. So I get to make sure. There we go. Aaron's off. Jane, can you come on? I'm going to just, Jane, can you come on, dear? Jane, can you come on? I can hear you. Yo, Jane. All right.
1 minute, Bob.
Okay. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Just kidding. What, are you getting dressed or something? Come on now. I can see it now. She's taking the robe and changing it to a designer dress or something. Just kidding. There we go. Oh, now. They're awesome.
Hey,
good job, honey.
I was not expecting to be set on.
Well, thank you and all of you. Just thank you for doing this. So this is, again, I'm going to build a context and then I'm choosing to have you share. So mastery systems, conscious language, is what I'm going to cough. It's not just learning how to say a word differently. It's not just about, moving from, anyway, this is a deep dive experience. And so having an individual for me, my job is to create a support system. So in the past years and years, I would travel about 10 months out of the year. Well, I finally started adding that up. And that meant that a third of the year I was traveling. A third of the year I was in transit. And now I'm going, well, we're building our communities. We have our practitioners local. We have online support, which I really love. So when you first found this material, Jane, got it? And that was from the free intro in wherever it was, Fairhope. And then you did 2 one-day classes. And I believe at that point you got the All For You packet, yes? You got All For You?
Yes.
And then you went home and started moving upscale, yes?
Yes. Yes. I was at Aaron's. I was at Aaron's event. I started following you back, months before, and I'm like, my outcome was next time to see Bob. Had no idea that you were going to be 45 minutes away in Fairhope. So I was there, and I moved way upscale, and I bought all the box sets at that first event. Got my iPhotos taken, but I came home and I started doing the All For You, and I went through it many times. It was very emotional. That I had not actually been feeling any of my feelings for all of, for so long. And so a lot showed up, and I'm sure you remember, I was sending you messages all the time. And, if I had a support community back then, a year ago, it would have been way easier, faster, moving upscale. Did it. I realized I was the one, and I did it, and I moved upscale, and my family did as well. And then a few months later, you came back to Fairhope and did the live 3-day and came to the retreat in October, the 11 days of life upgrade coaching. So I've been all in ever since the first time I met you. And I am my life is it's just, I can't even put it into words. It's so mondo whopping, like different than I ever believed my life could possibly be. I'm 180 degrees different direction than I was a year ago.
So, and I remember you showing your, I mean, girl, you did the deep dive. You went, you know, I mean, we all have our stuff. I've got my stuff. I'm working on my stuff on a daily, moment to moment basis, like everyone else is. And you, I mean, if anybody could just watch, I mean, just stick in there, the amount of recommit, the deep dive, the upgrades, the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relationship stuff that you've done is, I mean, it's been said that the back is prepared for the burden. And I really ask everyone to understand that. And scripturally, not religion, but scripturally, it says, our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. And as we begin, I mean, if we will all just really understand that having the tools of conscious choice and imagination activation and outcome facilitation and the tools of transcending right and wrong and all for you are, I believe they're essential for what's going on our planet right now and for what's going on in our world and that kind of stuff. So since then, my dear, how many have you been supporting other people in their version of moving up scale?
Yes. Yes.
Good. And big time. Awesome. So what, have you ever watched?
In my full enthusiasm, I have. I love others. I love sharing, and I do. Yes. Go ahead.
Beautiful. And our connection is not, the signal connection is not really strong. Right now it's kind of coming in and out. Oh, is mine strong? Can you hear me consistently or is it breaking up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you, dear. And thanks for being a champion. And how many things are you now currently certified in? How many letters do you have after your name? I mean, it's just fun. You know, ABC, NYC, JK, P, LP. Anyway, it's awesome. Yeah, a lot. Exactly. Awesome. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you.
A lot.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, here we go. I'm going to go to one other, let's see, Heather Harbaugh. Can you come on, please? Heather Harbaugh.
Hello.
There's Heather. She's making her way here. Awesome.
Hello.
Yay. Hey, so again, the reason I'm sharing everybody that's been involved are involved in the coaching system. Some have been through certification, like Heather, like Jane, that kind of stuff. And can you do me a favor and share, did you start with a community when you started learning all this?
No.
What difference would that have made for you?
Huge. That would have been awesome. Yeah. So trailblazing, the community part, is an immensely honorable privilege to have. And yes, it would have been way more easy if there would have been a community to immediately plug into.
Got it. And in the interim, because you've been doing so much service and all the other stuff on the planet, big time. What is the most important, if you had a community, let's say you had a year before you came into Mastery Systems, a year of conscious language, etc., in a community, what would have changed if you can imagine that? What would have changed for you?
Well, you can help me clean this up, but I think my struggle to move forward and upgrade I would have had that support system. I would have felt supported in that in a way that I wasn't aware that I had currently, or when I started. And I think my upgrades would have happened with much more grace and ease.
Cool.
So.
And what would you, if you were to build, this is specifics now.
Yes.
Aaron talked about, it'd be nice to have a video to share. I got that. But what are the most important tools that are you building a community now?
Yes.
What's your most important matrix of support to your people?
Matrix. Can you,
components.
conscious language, imagination activation, and sacred body language tools currently.
Cool. And is there any hiding with sacred body language translation?
No, absolutely none.
And is there any judging going on with sacred body language translation?
Absolutely not. No.
And have you been with people that, I mean, without, for me, I'll just share, because then otherwise I'm leading and that's not my intent. For me, and then if you'll share your take on this, Heather, for me personally, when I work with somebody, their body language, their code of their language, their code of their breathing, all kinds of these codes are revealing a strength knocking on their door to come online. And so when we're struggling, me too. I mean, even when I say that, I get another, oh, that's true for me. So if everybody can just get this, that it's like God, life, and I love the word God, but I'm not talking about a religious concept. I'm talking about creation. God is, in the past, my understanding and study was we had to go to, so to speak, the mountaintop to find God. Now God is coming for all of us. God is searching us out. The blessings are knocking on our door. When we say ask and you shall receive, that means the minute we ask, we've received, only it's in the invisible state, and all we have to do is go, oh, now that I have what's new and different, or that kind of stuff. Any burden that anybody has is a blessing that's bestowed that's not yet received. So with some of that concept, and for any of you that are new, this is really important, that whatever struggle it seemed like we're in is just we just need a little bit of understanding. Oh, there's a blessing knocking on my door. Every problem has a solution. And so, and our greatest weakness should be our greatest strength. So as we begin to proceed with this, and as you do, Heather, how quickly are people getting ahas and claiming and remembering and embodying their blessings?
Just that one piece, I said someone was saying something about a shoulder, and I said, what blessing is being restored to you right now? And that was like that, just that simple connection, that it wasn't, oh, my shoulder's hurt. It's, oh, I have a blessing that's coming online for me, was everything for that person. And she still talks to me about it today. So it's huge. Yeah, the strength returning part, instead of, oh, I have this ailment or this is my pain. I mean, I acknowledge that for them, but that having that piece, so this is your strength returning, has totally turned the tables, turned the light on in the mansion, and for people, it's huge.
So let's say when our first event that I met you, was that in Austin?
The first one is in Dallas when you did the Life Illuminated event.
Life Illuminated. Yeah, I put all those kind of group into large groups of people.
Yeah.
And you came to body language at that one?
Yes.
Yes. So since then, have you been snookered by body language?
Yes.
I mean, has it fooled you?
Oh, snookered. No, I'm sorry. It has not fooled me. Well, I mean, let me see. That sounds like a trick question, Bob. So yes and no.
Yep. Good job. And yet, and me too. I mean, it's like, well, what does that mean? So that's what I mean by, now that you have an awareness, do you realize that even though it's maybe physical, maybe mental, emotional, financial, spiritual, relationships, all that kind of stuff, everything is asking for a shift. Is that true?
Yes. And now, instead of, again, looking at what's wrong, it's an immediate positive upgrade, upscale, move to, this is a strength returning. And what do I do to align with my strength returning?
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing the work you're doing.
Yes. Thank you, Bob.
Artistic stuff. I love that one, by the way, you just did, by whichever, I cannot describe it, like a tree.
Yes.
Yeah. So I loved it. That was my favorite of all, by the way. So,
thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you, dear. I'm going to continue on here. All right. Now I'm going to offer, see what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit on this, like everyone, please be aware of a couple things here, that I'm going to do a screen share. So one second. All right, everyone. Excuse me for clearing my throat. And hopefully if someone maybe in the chat will let me know that that you can see this or not or whatever. But what I'm doing right now is I'm in the middle of completing a book. I'm working on the title right now. The Word Becomes Flesh is one of my titles. I'll leave it at that. But I believe that we're at a point now where disease is over. The word disease is a made up word. It actually means unease. And so what the reason why having someone in a community, that's why this core technologies, these 50 DVDs right now, there are 555 instead of 1222. And this is a close-up. We got like 18 of them. So what I'm saying is you get these 50 DVDs, you can get, there's 12 DVDs on conscious or sacred body language translation. There's 11 DVDs in there on biooptic holography, study of the eye, that kind of stuff. So what I'm sharing with you is in my enthusiasm, my mission right now in this year, 2020, eyesight, is to, making choices, is to give enough instruction for people. And when my book comes out, so you have this thing on the laws of reversal and revision and how we can move upscale. And so just kind of follow along. I'm not going to really give you all this, but everything is a frequency specific thought, word, and emotional patterns with our body and our life situations even. Doesn't even have to be physical signals. So if you can imagine being able to find out what's happening in our body, I'm just showing you some of my book. And then, gallbladder, challenges and resentment, we start to move upscale. And I'm going to take you through it. And then we go through body signals, skull, what's that all about? Shoulder girdle, arm, leg, the cranial bones, all this. Again, the main systems of the body, cardiovascular, circulatory, and then what's that about? List of the body organs. And then begin to understand an abrasion. And then have you ever felt burned, irritated, deeply wounded, or in your feelings? Do you get a sense that this is not a diagnostic, no matter what the modality, and that's not what was true for me in the past, no matter what the modality, I really love being so clean that I don't have to say, oh, this modality is wrong and this one's right. I used to. And yes, I'm going to say, let's do the best possible thing for everyone. Yes. Live foods, not just raw, live foods, and the best nutrients, the best essential oils, all that kind of stuff. Yes, yes, yes. But also being able to ask a question, the answer of which walks that person back into strength instead of treating unease, got it, or dis-ease. It means unease. Believing in disease is just crazy. How about, all right, there's a call for ease, and there's only one true ease, it's grace. Scripture, not religion, says, you will know my grace because it's without effort. And so if you can imagine having any of these things going on, abscesses, all this kind of stuff, I'm not saying how to treat it, even though I'm going to say use the best stuff there is. It's also ask this question because the word becomes flesh. And so if the word becomes flesh, then thought, word, and feeling, the trinity of language, is in every physiological, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and relationship situation. And having someone in each community helping with this is essential. So if you can go along adrenal stuff, so you'll get a sense that all of this builds, here's what's happening, and here's the question, here's what's returning. Here's what's happening, here's the question, or enough to get a question in there. And then helping that person restore some strength. Our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. This is what I stand on. This is what I surf on. And let the weak man say, I am strong. Another one of the scriptural laws, not religion, just scriptural laws like quantum physics that is so important, like arthritis. Well, what is it? And then how do we address it? So what I'm doing is going through the physiological signals in the body and helping with just a simple, so we understand what that is. Not going to address it, not going to change the modality somebody's in. We're just going to add consciousness to it. We're going to add, ooh, have you felt this way? Are you dealing with this? And if you are, usually when somebody goes, oh yeah, like the burden blessing on the shoulder thing, that once somebody gets, oh my gosh, oh yes, then that's your blessing returning. Every one of these is a strength asking to be agreed to, every physiological state. So please understand, like I'm giving you a small portion of this, but what's coming is, and again, disease is a man-made word. Signals or symptoms happen. If we treat only the signal or the symptom, and I'm not saying change your modality, we might miss the cause. Add cause, when we actually change the cause, then the signal isn't supported anymore and it goes away. Many people are trying to get rid of some signal instead of restore some strength. So what this is all about is restoring strength. So this will give you a sense of what's coming. And I mean by what I'm giving, what I'm putting out into the world right now. So please understand that you have a really, I mean, if it's only if you choose to do this, but for me, I'm going, look, when I travel from here on out, I choose to come and support communities that are already studying conscious language, imagination activation, outcome facilitation, My Divine Partner Now, Conscious Prosperity, Sacred Body Language Translation, Bio-Optic Holography, the Conscious Life Series, etc. So when we get there, we can actually have miracle after miracle after miracle happen. And even before doing that, having, and we've got coming up, actually, I can probably take you to that right now. This week, once I find this, oh, wrong one. I can do this. All right, so this month and into March, we've got events coming up, shifting destructive negative self-talk and internal dialogue into replenishing self-honor with ease. We've got shifting unconscious commitments and negative repeating patterns into conscious creative commitments. All of these are, inexpensive. If you're a part of Mastery Systems Online University, that's the way to go. And, even if you get the whole package and you aren't currently in the online university, you can add it and basically it's the same price. So body signals and their reversal upgrades, transforming codependence into co-empowered relationships, remembering and living your high agreements, the path of grace and freedom of voting victory, using Young Living essential oils and shifting patterns. This is so sacred for me. The role of feeling and actualizing our prayers, affirmations, and decrees, transforming emotion into motion, finding and living your highest choices, sacred body language translation. And I'm going to be doing quite a bit of that kind of stuff. So just know that's coming. And anyway, let's go back to this. So my outcome is to have you understand that we're doing this closeout right now. In fact, I can give you that. I'm going to do that real quickly. So we have, these are all CDs that are coming, by the way. I mean, that they're here. They're currently in a physical form called a CD or DVD. And all of these we're closing out because we're going to stream everything. We're going, right now we're moving into the region of Australia and New Zealand. We have a person there that's going to pick up, Dave Baumbacher is going to pick up the responsibility of delivering all this stuff. And in the past, to ship something there, like even sending him 20 books of conscious language, it was $100 shipping. So he's going to start getting things printed there, and we're going to start using our streaming service for all those people in that region. So anyway, knowing and attaining your dreams now, if you have a CD player, you can get that at great savings. My Divine Partner Now, Core Technologies, this is the one, we have 17 left. This is the one that now it's $555 instead of $1222. And that's the one I agree with, that if you will show it for free, I say yes, as long as it's not on the internet. And if you go, well, I'd really like to charge, some people do that. We just come up with an agreement of some type of a share, because some people say, well, if I'm going to do this, whatever. And coaches, this is a great way to have people understand what's available, the why. I like what Aaron said about that. Mastery Prep Kit, again, we have 32 of those left. Conscious Life Series, 29. That's another one that you can, because Core Technologies has all the DVDs except for one set in it. The Conscious Life Series are DVDs, Mastery Prep Kit are DVDs, but that's in Core Technologies. Home Study Collection, 23 DVDs, we have 16 of those left. and it's in Core Technologies. Core Technologies is your best bet. 7 Upgrades to My Victory is separate. It's really, it's like, you know, oh man, I think I've got it right here. This is its make your conscious choice, match to your high agreements, confirm with sacred body language translation, be specific with outcome facilitation, go vivid with imagination activation, speak your conscious language decree, be true to your heart with outcome mapping. 7 steps. You can repeat them all day long. Boom, boom. New choice, high agreement, sacred body language, outcome facilitation, imagination activation, conscious language, and outcome mapping. Pretty soon the person gets into the use up, choice, new, test, done. And that's what that's all about. And that's another one that you can, if you have it and you don't charge, you show it for free, you can build your community with these things. We have 29 of those left. Biooptic holography, this is the set that's in Core Technologies. We have 18 of those. Now the facilitator box sets are all going to be streamed from here on. So the Sacred Body Language Translation Facilitator has the DVDs in it from the Core Technology, so that's a repeat. And then it has the primary training. I am inviting you, if you choose to do this, and some people are already doing this with me, to merge the All For You, which is not listed here, Sacred Body Language Translation, Biooptic Holography, and this is huge savings, kids, and Life Upgrade Coaching. If somebody will do that, these 4 things, All For You, Sacred Body Language Translation Facilitator, Biooptic Holography Facilitator, and Life Upgrade Coaching certification box sets, currently box set, pretty soon streamed. If you get all that at the same time, you get the Voice Your Choice game for free, and it saves, well, this alone, that's a savings of $12.89. This is savings of $467, $478. And the All For You is now $333. If you get them all together, you can connect with us to find out if we still have them. I recommend that. All right. So now to hear from each of you, who knows, how can I support you? Like if you're currently in the middle of it, currently a coach, and or if this is brand new for you, or you have something. In other words, for me, I'd love to hear, like Aaron shared a little, video, and I believe all that was already online, by the way. I've got lots and lots and lots of free material on our YouTube channel. And it still is a matter of making that, finding a link to share with your people. How can I support you? So mic yourself, and I'm here and listening, and video if you can. Not all at once, just kidding. Any questions that you may have? All right, who would like us to come to your area? Let's do that. Mic yourself. You don't have to be all dressed up. We won't have to video you if you don't need to, but we need to hear you. So.
Hey, Bob, it's Leah Hansen.
Hey, Leah, how are you?
Good. I live in Portland, Oregon.
Great.
Have you been here before?
Oh, about, yes is the answer. And I'm going to say maybe 50 times.
Oh.
And not in the last 8 years, something like that.
Okay.
So, and then again, so when we do a West Coast, I call it the Left Coast Tour.
Mm-hmm.
When I first did this, 2008, I got my new digital camera. We did 29 venues in 31 days. We went all the way through, all the way across from Western North Carolina, all the way through to actually Seattle. And so we did things in Portland and Seattle and et cetera. And so when we do a tour, we can come through again. And again, my goal is anywhere we go, the more prepared people can be. Like for me, if I could do anything, I would have people so prepared. We could do an All For You, this 2-day class, 2.5 day class in the event region for people. I mean, in other words, to do it. In other words, once people understand this All For You, I'll give you, and Leah, this is the way it works. Please, everybody just, I love what I do. Conscious language is the language of our heart. There's no way to really learn conscious language, even though what people can learn is what conscious language isn't. So when people begin to explore conscious language and then imagination activation, because once we know, I choose, we start to make choices. And once we start to make choices, the little self, our personality goes, well, how am I going to get it? That's not required for manifestation. So I choose, let's say, to be happy. I choose to be abundant, whatever. The more specific we are, the more instantaneous the manifestations. This is all systematically shared and practiced with people. And then once people make choices, they add imagination activation, imagining already having their dream, whatever it is, and then outcome mapping from already having their miracles. Those 3 steps we include in the All For You packet. Anyone can start right now and order All For You. It's, again, it's $333 instead of $444. It has living the path of conscious language, the power of imagination activation, outcome mapping. It has the foundation in it. Plus, it has an entire live videoed class of All For You. It is the way, the best way that I know currently, of how to transcend the right and wrong piece. Like if fear comes up, yo, fear, I love you just the way you are. So Leah, what would happen, and what we've done before, is a study group in your region. And let's see, you're near, well, I'm sure you know where Yelm is. Yes, Leah?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, it's in Seattle.
I don't want to say that. Cancel clear.
Oh, good job, honey. Oh, yeah. Well, it's in, it's just north of you. And
I'm pretty north Portland. I live on the Columbia River.
well, but this is not in your region, but it's, I call it, anything on the West Coast is like your
Oh,
neighborhood.
okay.
So Yelm is in Washington, South Washington, near Olympia. So as an example, this is the group, if you've ever known the Ramtha group, not something I was involved in, but I was highly aware of it. They invited me there. They got into the oneness blessing eventually. So all the same people lived in the same area, and somebody would take the DVDs on conscious language and have a group on Monday night. Somebody would take imagination activation, different group Tuesday night. Somebody would have My Divine Partner Thursday night. I mean, I'm making up these days. But anyway, when I got there to do what's the equivalent of All For You, the 2.5-day class, everyone was already having massive miracles. So the point is that I believe it is important to come and share with people, to do as much as we can via the internet, because it helps everybody with investment level and availability and travel and family and all that stuff. And there comes also a point where, you know, just being in a group of people voting victory and seeing each other and watching the body language and the transformations happen. We were just up in Cedar Rapids, and I did a 4-hour, I believe it was 4-hour sacred body language translation. And many people, but especially one guy that sat next to me, and I mean, he looked 30 years younger, and he wasn't but 40 some. I mean, literally the amount of metamorphosis when people love and touch and breathe and stay and feel. And the minute love is present, everyone's voting victory, seeing perfection, miracles happen. So Leah, yes, we'll come to Portland. And it's just a matter of the more you can prepare your people, gather your tribe, your team, whatever it is, spread. How'd you first hear about us, Leah?
My best friend Falgany, we went out for an evening, and I'm in the healthcare industry, and I am studying Vedic astrology, and I was talking to her about mantras, and I'm doing a 40-day mantra practice. And so that led us to talking about Greg Braden and missing links. And then she said that Greg Braden recommended your book. And then, so I bought your book about a week and a half ago. So I just heard about you about not even 2 weeks ago.
Got it. Wow. You're what I call a newbie. And what I can share with you is, oh man, there's just so much is available. It's like, I don't like to overwhelm people. Cancel that. I like to, people frequently.
Oh, have fun with it. Enjoy overwhelming people.
Well, yeah. Thank you. I like that very much. People say in the past, I affirm, that being with me is like drinking from a fire hose. And at first I was like, that doesn't sound like fun. But anyway, so the point is there's a lot more available, my dear. And anyway, I can support you in understanding it and also being available. I mean, it sounds like you're already in the middle of your service and helping yourself and the planet. What I share about that is all coaching is self-coaching, all facilitation is self-facilitation. We're all teaching the most important things we ourselves require experiencing. So that's true. And just, we have in fact, she's on tonight. Diane Cooper is our networker, and also she's the one that taught me, introduced me to Greg Braden way back at Solar Heart in what I call the 1800s, where we did an event together, 2 events together with Drum Below, etc. And Diane is the one that is helping understand when we do a tour, preparing people and networking and logistics, and she's a genius at all that stuff. So it's just fascinating you bring up Greg tonight, because we've been talking about him and loving on him lately. So, well, let us.
And I told my friend Honu Walters, and she happens to be on tonight as well. And so we talk. She lives in Florida. I live in Portland, Oregon, and we talk daily. So it feels really good to have a sister and I watching your YouTube videos, and I signed up for something on your website and reading your book. So yeah, I feel supported already.
Awesome, dear. Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on, and say hi to Portland for me. Okay.
Hi, Portland.
Thank you, dear. All right. Anyone else? Questions, comments? How can we support you? Stanya, you got a hand up. There you go.
Yes. Hi, Bob.
Hi there.
Well, I'm sitting in the car, leaving it running for internet. And I'm happy to hear somebody from Portland. I am in Bend, in Oregon, new. And actually my question is, and I apologize if it was not me not paying attention. I had feeling there was chance you will help us to get together with people from the area aware of conscious language.
Well, we've got a Find Your Tribe Facebook.
Yes.
For that. And
okay,
if everybody can, go to Mastery Systems and click on our Find Your Tribe Facebook portion of that. It's really been helpful for people to find out who lives where.
I see. Yeah, I'm still getting into the Facebook very, very slowly. But so just letting know the lady before, and I've been with you for a number of years, and recently I kind of fell out of it. So I have a lot of CDs or DVDs in Houston, and I feel somewhat chaos how to put it together. But I appreciate what you said before. So you were pretty much answering my question, how to begin, which to pull first. So it is all for you, and begin with conscious language with people. Pretty much I laugh, I breathe, and those basics.
Yep. Yep.
Stay in that. Yeah, I really, really desire to begin the group here. Yesterday, it was first time in my life, I pulled together a group, a Wake Up Spirit Tribe for Polar Plunge. So I feel empowered that I can do it. So.
Well, and the heart's call of humanity right now for personal responsibility and shifting, giving tools for people so they can put their own oar or paddle in the water of their life and move themselves, move the needle, and making new choices, etc. This is what it's all about. I even think a lot of the stuff going on in China right now is about people demanding that they have a voice coming online. So,
great.
And again, I recommend for the person who's just on, Leah, and for you as well, Stanya, to find where you are and find out what resources do you currently have, etc. Because I believe coming together in communities is the way. Like in Austin and Florida and actually in Seattle and Portland and all these different places way back, the way people built it was through the core technologies, these 50 DVDs. And, what I love about watching a DVD with a group of people is it's not like one person delivering to people, it's everyone experiencing the video, and they're all live examples, and then sharing their experience. That's what makes this real. So anyway, since you're already on that page, that you're in a perfect place to start building your community.
Yes. So actually it is getting together around watching your video and then sharing it and applying it on individual situation, life, and so on. Okay.
Yes. All right. Beautiful. Thank you, dear.
I love you. Thank you so much,
I
Bob.
love you too, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anyone else? Oh, here we go. Heather Connor, Heather Hawk. I'm going to mic you. Should be
Hello,
you.
everyone. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Well, Bob, I invite you to come out to our area again.
Let's see. Oh, hi. Oh, cool. So to do that, can you do me a favor and get your people maximum prepared?
Yes, and I choose to invite more people to be maximum prepared.
Yes, that's the point. So would you like us to come out and do intros or an all for you?
Oh, I'm tossing that all for you around.
That was not direct. Just kidding. I'm tossing it around. So what's your heart say?
My heart is calling for that.
For what?
For an all for you. All
Who's
for me.
Yeah. Who's all for you?
My all for me.
Yeah, I love it, honey. That's great. My all for me. Everyone, you're coming for me. That's right. No, just kidding. I love it. And so this is where, and let's talk about this, Heather. When we've gone out, and I've loved your group, by the way, from all the times we've been there. I believe we can gather groups and people by doing quite a bit of work on what like type of thing now. And the classes that I just mentioned, etc., they're price point doable. They're easy, an hour and a half or so on average. They're life changing. There's a PDF with it, and it gets people in the game. And then your skill as a facilitator can, once everyone, Heather, I'll ask this. So you're certified now in most everything we have, most everything. So have you noticed that your skill is effective?
Yes.
So, like sacred body language translation, how effective is that in helping someone get right to the cause?
Oh, it's an arrow right to it.
Yep. And everything must fit together for that person, because it's not a matter of just, burden's blessing. It's literally, this is a path. This is an upgrade path. This is I call it literally the stairway to heaven. And I mean by that, it's not my heaven for them. Each person finds their own heaven. They activate their own masterful self. That's what it's about. That's what our coaching system's about. And if you can really idealize, I'll help you. And I'm asking everyone to join in at some point. And now, if you choose, about how do we help you build your community? Because once people, it's not just, lightweight, lick the wrapper and go, oh yeah, that was interesting. This is a deep dive. This is literally rebuilding our limited world into our strength. And it's like Groundhog Day. We have to do that. In other words, we're here to be our full potential, not just feel better. We're here to shine like the noonday sun, and to move from fear to fierce, and from shy to shine, and ultimately to shine fiercely. I mean that, even though it's cutesy stuff, it is really true. I shine fiercely. And I'm happy to come. I love coming to support your team. And my request is, let's work together to get your people so ready when we do an all for you. It's the most important experience anyone's ever had in their entire life.
Yes, I agree.
Good. Awesome. Say hi to your hubby for me.
I will.
All right, dear. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else? Jump on. Just mic yourself or raise your hand. We'll find you. I'm seeing all these beautiful people. I wonder, Christy, would you like to have us come to your area? I'm going to unmute you. Christy, would you like to have us come to your neck of the woods?
Hi, Bob.
Hi there.
How are you doing?
I are good.
Well, I am still working on getting a community. And
so, one thing you can do is, I'm just going to share. So you're up in New Hampshire, right?
New Jersey.
New something. New
Yes.
Cosmic Consciousness, New Jersey. So up in New Jersey, what I'm recommending, like this is the, on our Facebook, Find Your Tribe. Let's really help each other. I know somebody in that area. I know somebody in that area. And one of the ways to do it is to pull people together to do some of the intros, or maybe to go online and watch together some of the free, we got a lot free of the YouTube stuff we've got, and then, you know, just start building from there. And what I recommend, Christy, you do in Imagination is, I got my tribe. And just some your words, those are mine, but I got my tribe. My team loves being with me. They love, because your skill set is awesome, dear. You know, your commitment and certification, what you've walked yourself up scale through,
Yes.
is profound. And remember, the only thing, me too. The only thing keeping us from our full potential is us, nobody else. As I scratch, hello.
Yes.
So I vote your victory, my dear, and let us know how to support you. And it might be, I've got 3 people. Well, imagine communities where there's 3 people times 100. That's 300 people. Pretty good. I'm good at all that math stuff and multiplication. Anyway, and when we start to build this, remember, this is not for the faint of heart. This is for those who are fully committed. And so if I realize all I have to do is commit, and then the universe moves for me. So I'm reminding everyone, you just commit and everyone will move. It's amazing, amazing, amazing thing. So, all right,
Yes.
now that you got your victory, how do you feel, Christy?
I feel happy.
So walk around happy. Sounds right. Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, dear. And vote her victory. Vote everybody's victory, everybody. All right, who's next? Anyone else? And we're at an hour, so we're gonna.
Bob, this is Cynthia.
Yes, I saw your mic go on. Hi, dear. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Great.
I'm sitting in the closet-ish. It kind of, my husband's got the Academy Awards going on, or whatever it is going on. So it's so loud in the background. So I had to come in here and close the doors and hide out. So that you wouldn't hear all the glorious things going on upstairs. So my conscious language book club starts tomorrow. I have 3 people coming to my house, with 4 coming next week. One lady couldn't come this week. And then I have a Zoom group starting on Tuesday night. So we'll be doing the same things 2 nights in a row, but the Zoom group is for people that are not in person. I consider that my community, and working toward a couple of the ones that are coming in person have already purchased All For You. So moving toward that with All For You as well, in creating a community so that when you come back here, because we had a pretty good, maybe 20 or so in my living room, I guess.
Yep.
So when
And
you
how
come
many
back
people,
here,
we did the first Facebook Live. Remember
Yes.
how many people saw that?
I have no idea. Did you,
was
is there a way to
hundreds.
know?
Hundreds.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm a celebrity now. I didn't know it.
Yes, you are.
I am
Those
a
Robert.
Robert is the celebrity.
Yeah, you're gonna. By the way, you're
Yes.
gonna have to come out of the closet in your celebrityness.
And my celebrityness. We went to an event, Highest Potential Academy. After that, after the live video, so many people went up to Robert and said, "Oh, I saw your video. I saw your video. I saw," and I'm like, "Hello, hello." It was, but he's definitely the star. Yes.
That's great. And how do people join in on your Tuesday study group?
You can send me an email link if you'd send me your email. I can send out the link. It's oiltogethernow@gmail.com. Anyone can join. Anyone can join. You have to have the book, and we're covering the first 13 pages Tuesday night. Just read them, and then we're going to have an open discussion about your takeaways.
Oh, that's cool.
My takeaways, your takeaways, all of our takeaways. We are one.
Awesome.
Yes.
So they have to memorize all 13. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No.
That's a joke. That would not be fun at all. So awesome. Well, and we're in conversation about you being our HUGS, Human Upgrade Guidance System person. So everyone just see who this is. She's coming out of the closet, as well as potentially our HUGS person who—
I'll stay in the closet.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, really. Yeah, really, really. So anyway, thank you, dear. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. All right, now, anyone else? I love that study group thing. Anyone else? Raise your hand or click on. You're good to go. All right. So if you choose to do this study group, share videos. I mean, for your personal stuff, it's awesome. And Core Technologies is a pack of 50 DVDs, and I recommend them. And not only that, they're prereqs for, they're used a lot. All the videos are, and you can purchase them at great savings right now. MasterySystems.com has the information. You can call my office tomorrow, 828-877-3383, and we're happy to help you understand. Like Core Technologies, there's only one other set of DVDs that's outside of that, and that's 7 Upgrades to Victory. Other than that, Core Technology has all the DVDs, and the reason I'm not sharing some of the other packs and stuff is because they have videos in that are single use. And so the Core Technologies is my way to ensure that anything that's in that can be shown to a group of people. So any questions before I go, or comments? You can write them down, tape them, think them, I'll know them. All right.
Bob and Cynthia, can you clarify what the single-use items are, please?
Yes, anything, any of the box sets, single use, any of the, and they all say it in there, if you know what I mean, like you get a
Yes,
disagreement.
I have seen that.
So all for you is single use. Any live event, sacred body language translation facilitator, biooptic holography facilitator, life upgrade coaching facilitator. Those are all single use in that, it's in way deep, powerful training to support people in being coaches in the system. Yeah, somebody can study it for themselves, that's fine. And it's still single use. So some people say, well, I have my spouse, they'd like to watch it, let us know. And usually what we do is for a spouse, we have a special rate. It's 5 times as much. That's a joke. Anyway, so that's the way that works, single use. And everything will say, the only thing that's really, really available right now is Core Technologies for group watching. So
yes, okay. I have Core Technologies should arrive today or tomorrow. I've already spoken with Amanda last week about that. You mentioned 7 Upgrades.
Oh yeah, so that's that's on sale right now too. I choose to remember how many we have, but 7 Upgrades is going to, everything that we have in DVD or CD is going to streaming.
Okay.
So the DVDs, 7 Upgrades, if you get that, that's, make your choice, high agreement, sacred body language, outcome, facilitation, imagination, activation, conscious language, decree, and anyway, the point is those 7 steps. That for me, I originally designed that for Young Living because I realized so many people were aware of conscious language but didn't have a clue of how to use it. And so being that I'm involved in a lot of different groups, and many are in Young Living Essential Oils, I was going, well, I'm just going to put this together, first make a new choice and make it a conscious choice, and then check it with your high agreements. Wow, this is really simple stuff, but also extraordinarily profound. And then confirm with your sacred body language translation of a yay, if you make sure you get a yay on everything. I mean, you can do this on shopping, all kinds of stuff. And then what's the outcome of making this new choice? And then imagine already having it, and then design a decree that sustains your new choice, and then outcome map. Now let it have it, what's new and different. So that's the other one that it used to be single use only. And now, Cynthia, I'm opening that up to teams that would like to study it. And anyone in building an organization, anyone with a group of people, any family members, your kids, all that stuff, those, imagine just really understanding the simplicity and the nuts and bolts of conscious language, high agreements, body language, outcome facilitation, imagination activation, and designing a decree that confirms your victory, and then outcome mapping in your life. Those 7 steps are awesome. Does that answer your question, my dear?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Very well.
Beautiful.
May I share one other thing?
Please do.
I love my sacred body language training. Let me turn this video back on. I loved my sacred body language training. I'm still learning and processing. Last Friday night, my husband and I attended a thing called Night to Shine. It's put on by Tim Tebow's foundation, and it is a prom night basically for special needs adults. Sitting back and watching non-communicators communicate was fascinating. I loved it. I loved the blessing of knowing what they were saying when they would do whatever it was they would do, the blessing of being able to ask them a question, not a coaching question by any means, but filling a need and knowing how to communicate and watching them as they would walk across stage, and the announcer would say, he would announce them, and then he would say, you know, strike a pose. Everyone was different, and it was all body language. So having that knowledge and having that training, I just sat just blessed, very blessed to watch.
Imagine giving that to their caregivers and educators,
Yes.
family
Yes.
members. Oh.
It was beautiful.
And well, while you're right here, I've heard exactly the same thing for parents with newborns and with the children before they have, you know, it's called pre-verbal, before they have words hooked up, to be able to know what their child is asking. I mean, I got a piece of it the other day. It was on Facebook, where a child that's hungry, the hands are, you know, like this, kind of tight. When they're full, their hands open up. And, you know, like we kind of know a little of that when they're holding on to something, you know, the fingers will come up, but when we're relaxed, they open up. If I lay my hands down, if my left hand pulls in a bit, I know I've got issues in receiving. Well, I mean, comparing it is important, but if my right hand is, I got issues about what I'm doing. So again, this is a whole world. It's going to take our whole world to do it. I'm just the steward of, here's what I found. What are we going to do with it for education, for partnership, all that stuff. Can you write something on that for me? Because I'm starting a blog right now. So if you can prepare your, you know, what you saw of it, you know,
Sure.
just how it really helped you. Oh, great. I expect it before you leave the closet.
Before I leave the closet. Okay.
just kidding. All right. Bless you, dear. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sarah Robert.
You're welcome. I will. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Anybody else? Going once?
Bob,
Yes, I watched the hand pop up. Hi, Heather. Go ahead.
I had a similar thing happen to me. I am a grandma now, and my son sent me a video, or actually my sister sent me a video of her watching the baby, and she's just a few months old, and she was struggling to grab a toy, and she wanted this toy, and she was really like focused, but her hands wouldn't work for her like she wanted them to, because she doesn't have that coordination yet, and she coughed, and it was like she was reasserting her will, and it was like several things were in the video, and I was like, oh, just fascinated that I could understand what she was going through and what she was communicating. And she's just a little baby, just a few months old.
Oh man, that's sacred. I mean, I call it sacred body language, and that's the kind of stuff that's like, wow, just, you know, especially for a being coming in, we take such good care of them. And for me, I mean, I feel in essence, all of us are still coming in, and it's our job is to take great care of each other and to really understand what's going on. And that's what this system does. So beautiful. Oh man. And so I can see it with what you're describing is you're in education. Yes.
Yes.
So can you imagine just gathering some of your teachers and share about, you know, and again, for me, conscious language, etc., gets to be everywhere. I mean, that we care everywhere. And so
I've been using it a lot in teaching, especially just the knowledge of choosing, that when we ask someone else to make a choice for us, that we're giving our power away. And that has really helped my students to just take ownership of just their artwork. I'm an art teacher, but I would have them, like, sometimes they would come to me or go to their peers and say, what color should I use? What should I use here? What should I do? And I teach them now that it's theirs to own it. It's who they are. It's an expression of themselves. And when they ask somebody else to make the decision for them, they're giving that power away. They're giving, you know, their own power away. And to me, I've woken up to that that that's what it is. And I used to give my power away, and now I choose. I voice my own choice and make my own decisions.
You know, even though I share all this, I still get benefit by hearing every one of these truths and stories. I mean, I still am amplified by like what you just shared and by what Cynthia has shared, etc. It's so rich. And that's the point of having community, kids. You know, to build a group, to share with us, to practice, to move upscale, to vote victory, to see perfection is awesome. Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
So if all of you please can take a moment and vote victory, that this year is the year of complete upgrades, of the illusion of disease turning into ease and grace, simply and easily, where individuals, no matter what the modality, they add to whatever they're doing, and of course we're going to encourage the best of whatever that is for them. That we add that they shift their thoughts, their words, and their feelings forward into their healthy life, their thriving life, their opulent, abundant life, their harmonious relationships, and their highest choices. And it's in us. The universe is asking every single human, every life form to shine like the noonday sun. So it may seem like, oh, it's a little daunting to actually shine. It's actually easier. It's much more difficult to hide than to shine. So please make that agreement with me. And please, you can best way to reach me is support@masterysystems.com. The best way to get to our office, same thing, support@masterysystems.com. Please, if you get a chance, join us starting Tuesday for the 11 events that we have coming. And if you jump in and get them all, there's huge saving for that. Those that are in our Mastery Systems Online University, again, that's your best investment price point wise. And there's a lot of material on that. So if you get a chance, I invite you to it. And let us all take another moment, invest another moment in imagining the sacred love of creation. I call it the sacred love of the sacred fire, God's divine heart. And legions and legions and legions of sacred fire love that transmutes everything into light. Imagine legions and legions and legions and legions of angels of victory of light moving across the face of the earth, dissolving all human darkness and anything that has in the past been called viruses into health this moment and forever. And keep this call up. And just agree, not effort. Thank you. Just really thank you, Creator. Thank you, God. Whatever name you give all that stuff. Just imagine anointed white fire being angels forgiving and raising everything into what it's actually meant to be. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being on tonight. And any way I can support you, let me know. And this is recorded. And those that are here tonight, it will be sent to you a link in case you choose to do it again. So, all right, blessings. Thank you.